Welcome back to the Tracy Take. Today, Ryan and I will be previewing the final game of the NFL 2021-2022 season,
Reviewing.
which was Super Bowl 56. Wait, did I say preview?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Anyways,
Yeah.
we will be reviewing the Super Bowl 56, a great game. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams, but it is well-deserved, and even bigger congratulations to Matt Stafford for finally getting a Super Bowl victory and getting out of the hellhole, which is called Detroit.
Yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals fans, definitely held your head up. You should hold your head up high. Great season. Literally no one thought you would be there, and I'm sure you would even say the same thing about yourself. We'd like to thank everyone that subscribed to our channel during this playoff stretch. We had a goal of getting to 400 subscribers. I think, as you can tell by seeing this video, we came up a little bit short, but hey, that's okay. Ryan and I, we have a goal of trying to get to 400 now by the NFL draft, so any help would be greatly appreciated. So like this video, comment on this video, share it with your friends and fans that you know of the game of football. And Ryan, let's get into it. So the review, as I correctly stated earlier, what a game! It was fun. There was a lot of hype coming up into this one for the past 2 weeks. Obviously, I personally, listening to a lot of Snoop Dogg and Eminem growing up in the early 2000s, was really excited for halftime show. That did not disappoint. And neither did the game. I thought the game did really well. What was your overall thoughts on the performance by both teams?
Yeah, I thought the overall game was good. I don't think anything was overly captivating except that final drive. But overall, I thought the game was good. Definitely better than Super Bowl 53, which was one of the worst football games I've ever seen. Which was the last time Los Angeles was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was good. I thought the Bengals got conservative after they got up. Kind of stopped taking shots downfield. They didn't necessarily get the opportunities, but I think, especially on that final drive, I think they got a little too run happy and just trying to waste the clock. And to be fair, it did work for it. But it stalled out, and then Joe Burrow hadn't really thrown a pass down the field in 20 minutes. Then you ask him on a 3rd and 7, I think, to go and make that throw. That
was Tyler Boyd.
Yeah,
that was a drop. I mean, not to blame it. It's not Tyler Boyd's fault. Drop passes happen, but he hit Tyler Boyd on the hands. And I don't know if he would have gotten the first down, but it would have been extremely close. They were running the ball very effectively.
They were, but they got to the point where I think the Rams defense was just like, all right, well, they're just trying to run out the clock. So then they started to sell out, in my opinion, towards well, I guess the middle of the field, of just like we have to stop the run. So. And then I think they ran it twice, threw it, and I do get that Joe Burrow hit Tyler Boyd, and Tyler Boyd just dropped it. But still, I think you have to, especially against a good Rams defense, I think you have to give a steady dose of both run and pass, and I think they got away from the pass a little bit, especially in the fourth quarter. But I think the Rams played well. A lot of clutch moments by Matt Stafford. And I think the Rams very much deserved to win. I think they were the better team yesterday. So, what do you think? Do you agree with some of what I said?
Well, so I think both of the defensive fronts played an absolutely amazing game, especially in the second half for the Rams, because really, honestly, in that second half, the Bengals didn't really get much of any offense going. Yes, they had the first big play, or they had the first play of the second half was the big play to T. Higgins.
Yeah.
And then the next play was the interception by I forget. I don't think it was Eli Apple. I forgot who it was. But then the Rams defense came out, held the Bengals to 3 points, because that would have been huge if the Bengals scored 14 points immediately and get up 24-13 to start the second half. Huge momentum shift. And then after that, the Bengals offense didn't really get anything going. But props, though, to Matt Stafford. Props to Cooper Kupp, who I think is the best receiver in the league. And I will say props to Odell Beckham Jr. He came into this system And he really propelled that offense going forward. I think he's a great fit. I think he is a free agent, but I would not be surprised if they sign him back. I hope that the knee injury isn't serious. I think I saw it was a torn ACL, and I hope he's able to come back because he fits super well within that system. And I think he benefits off of just how much attention Cooper Kupp gets.
Yeah.
And so I think he fits in really well. I want to shout out, and probably the MVP for Cincinnati, I will say, is probably Jalen Ramsey. What a horrible game. The guy who says he's the number one cornerback in the entire league. What a horrible game. If you look at all three big plays that the Bengals had, all were on Jalen Ramsey coverage. All horrible. He was in horrible position. Also, and if you look on the last play, if it wasn't for Aaron, but if on the last play, if it wasn't for Aaron Donald, Jamar Chase was behind Jalen Ramsey, and you can see Jalen Ramsey falling down. Jalen Ramsey did not play well, and he wholeheartedly deserved all the criticism that he gets. He single-handedly almost blew the game for Los Angeles.
I agree with you that Jalen Ramsey did not play well at all. One of the worst games I think I've ever actually even seen him play. The touchdown pass to T. Higgins, not his fault. That was a blatant offensive pass.
He still had poor position.
He did. He
still had poor positioning on that play. He got burned, and a call there. If they did actually make that call, that would have bailed him out. He did not deserve to get bailed out on that.
But if it wasn't OPI, then it was clearly a face mask.
I'm not denying that at all. I'm not denying that at all. But if he wasn't in poor positioning, he could have intercepted that pass. But he was. We saw time and time again throughout the game, all these big plays. The big play to Jamar Chase that got them in a field goal range in the first half. The T. Higgins play that started, he was in poor positioning to start out to get there. And then on the final drive, on the first play to Jamar Chase, he got burned there. Jamar Chase, if it wasn't for them playing kind of prevent defense, he could have burned it up the entire side of the field. And lastly, on the last play, check this out on the internet though, but you can see a still shot of when as Joe Burrow is getting sacked, Jalen Ramsey is falling down, and Jamar Chase has the entire field open. If it wasn't for Aaron Donald just storming through that offensive line, Joe Burrow would have hit Jamar Chase on the run, and it would have been a touchdown.
For a 50-yard touchdown,
50-yard touchdown. Jalen Ramsey played like absolute dog shit.
Yeah. No, it was one of the worst games I've ever seen him play, and I'm not trying to make excuses. But it was offensive pass interference and a face mask on the long play. And on the first big play of the Bengals, of the final drive of the game, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase actually, they kind of baited Jalen Ramsey because they know that he was going to play aggressive to try and get an interception. So they just let him try and jump a route and then threw it over him. And granted, that's not trying to defend Jalen Ramsey. That's just like he just got baited on that one play. They knew exactly.
Well, he makes all this talk about being the best cornerback. I mean, I don't know if. I mean, you can't play that game where this cornerback wouldn't have allowed that. But for the talk, I mean, he got burned. He would have been the sole reason because, as you said, the Rams played really well and the Bengals played really well too.
Yeah.
That defensive front really stopped the Rams' entire offense, made them kind of one-dimensional. They could not run the ball to save their life. And also, especially then when Odell Beckham came out, the Rams really did struggle to move the ball, but they were finding ways just to move the ball down the field, get points on the board. Stay connected to the Bengals, especially after the horrible start to the second half.
Yeah.
And so it really would have been, I mean, not to blame an entire loss on one person, but if the Bengals did win, it would come down to Jalen Ramsey.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if Aaron Donald didn't save him on the last play, he would have given up 2 50-plus yard touchdowns, which would have just been bad. Another MVP for, I think, the Rams that I think is going a little underrated. And not that this guy had a huge impact on the outcome of the game, but Bryson Hopkins, the third-string tight end, second-year guy out of Purdue, really came in when everybody else was hurt. Tyler Higbee, Odell Beckham. I forget the name of their...
Blanton.
Yeah, Blanton.
The second-string tight end.
Yeah, when he got hurt, Bryson Hopkins really came in, and he didn't do anything major. He just gave them another option, and he caught a few passes, I think all for first downs, and just gave the Rams another option. I think that is a really underrated player from this game that came in and played well. So So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But it's still, to me, I know Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp had a great game, and I think he's one of the best receivers in the league. Because even when you saw when Odell came down, and he still had a great performance. But I think there was a lot to be said also for Aaron Donald, also getting the MVP.
Yeah.
His performance in the second half, he single-handedly took over that defensive game for the Rams, putting constant pressure on Joe Burrow. And kind of as we talked about as well, that was going to be the big issue if the Bengals could stop, if they could protect Joe Burrow. And I think I saw they had 7 sacks, I think, or maybe 8 sacks.
It was something along those lines.
I think it was 7 sacks. It was 7 sacks for 43 yards.
Yeah.
And that was the difference in the game. Was that pressure, even on that final play, as I mentioned, if Jalen Ramsey didn't, I'll say it again, I don't like Jalen Ramsey. If he didn't, if it wasn't for Aaron Donald, then it would have been it would have been a Jamar Chase touchdown, and they would have lost the game. But Aaron Donald came in and saved the day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I thought both teams played well. Both teams had their moments of weakness. But all in all, I think the Rams deserved to win, and they were the better team. But I guess moving forward now, after the game, where do you think each team kind of goes from here?
So I think the teams kind of go in opposite directions, if I'm being honest. I think the Rams really sold out to get the Super Bowl, which they did. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well deserved. That's why you make these decisions. That's why you trade for Matt Stafford, because we're sacrificing a little bit of the future to win right now. Potential Aaron Donald does not come back. Andrew Whitworth, their tackle, is not coming back. I would assume he wouldn't come back. Just it'd probably end on a high note and go from there. Potential Odell Beckham might not come back. There's a couple other people that might not come back. So it's just going to be an interesting regime. Even Sean McVay, there are reports about Sean McVay just trying to find that family balance. He's getting married this summer, and I know he's wanting to start a family. So who knows, though? He's only 36, so he could still continue. He could leave. He can come back. So we just have to kind of see what plays out in the offseason. With the Bengals, it's the absolute opposite, though.
Yeah.
They're a really young team, and it's interesting, too, is what we talked about. They have clear needs that they need to address, and like offensive line and secondary. Everything else, if they can bring back everything else is great. That defensive front and linebacker core is solid. Cam Akers could not do anything in that game. Same with Darrell Henderson as well. So, and then obviously we know Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon had himself a game, and then obviously Jamar Chase and T. Higgins had a game as well. And so, they have the receiving core, and they have all the skill position players. They need to get a little bit better in the secondary, and clearly need to get better in the offensive line. Still, I don't think has the information come out about Joe Burrow's knee?
I don't think so. He finished the game. It's probably just like a knee sprain or. Something.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
It didn't seem to really affect him too much. So besides the initial face, but
scream. Yeah.
I do agree.
Anyways, just to end. That's just where I think both teams are going to be going opposite. I think we're going to see the Bengals in a lot more Super Bowls.
And so you mentioned Aaron Donald, trading the picks. Andrew Whitworth's probably not coming back. For me, too, if you look at it, I think Jalen Ramsey is getting to the back end of his career. Odell Beckham is going to be 31 by the time next season rolls around, who has a laundry list of injuries already, including in the game. You look at Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, both of those guys are near the end of their career, not just on the back half. And so I think you look at a lot of these players and this team as a whole, and you're like, they not only are old and going to be losing a lot of pieces, but I really think they mortgage their future in a big way. They don't have a first-round pick the next 2 years. They don't have a second or third-round pick, I think, in either of the next 2 drafts. But
as I said, that they put all their chips into the pot for this one hand.
Yeah.
And won it all. You know what I mean? That's why you do that. We're going to see the same thing with the Buccaneers as well. Now, they didn't spend draft capital, but I think all the players that they brought in and probably all the dead cap space that they might have from players that they signed and maybe moving contract money around, we're going to see that effect because they're like, let's go all in.
Yeah.
And that's what franchises have to do. And it's kind of a nice thing. So then you do see that, well, in theory, unless you're a Patriots fan, but see different franchises move around and succeed well, just like how we saw the Chiefs hadn't really been too much up until the mid-2010s when Andy Reid got there. Then Alex Smith kept getting them the AFC Championship game, and then they built this franchise around, and then they get their face of the franchise superstar, Patrick Mahomes, for the next 15 years. You know what I mean? Same thing with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills as well. And so it's just going to be nice to see that. The Bengals, another one, Joe Burrow. You know, you have to suck for a little bit and then keep building up those draft picks. The Falcons as well. You know, we sucked for all of the 2000s after the Michael Vick thing, and then we get Matt Ryan, and then we slowly build up from there to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it's very rare to see what you went through, you know, with the Patriots of 20 years of there's a 50-50 shot of if you guys are going to make the Super Bowl or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not anymore, but when Brady was there, yeah.
So. Well, but it's just what that was so unusual, you know. Even if you go back to, the 70s, there were the Steelers, but even then that was only over a couple of years still, and then another team came on that was really good, and then it just kind of rotated, you know.
Yeah.
But so that's what, getting back to that, the Rams wanted to win the Super Bowl now, and that's what you have to do, it seems like, to give yourself the best shot.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. So, but yeah, all right. Well, let us know what you guys think down in the comments about this game. Do you think that the Rams deserve to win this game? Are you happy that the Rams won this game? And where do you think these two franchises are going to go after this game? You think the Bengals are going to be back in contention next year? You think the Rams are going to be able to try and run it back and maybe convince Aaron Donald to stay and find a few other pieces? So let us know what you think down in the comments. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Tyler and I try to post videos every week, so make sure to hit that notification bell so you can get notified whenever we release something. And I think that's it. So other than that, we'll see you guys next time.